All right, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Looks like we're still getting people funneling in, so we'll just let them get funneled in while I go over some housekeeping items. First of all, I'd like to welcome all of you this morning to the SC Launch and Learn with Jerry Pilewski of Mission FocalPoint, based in Greenville, South Carolina. Today, we are discussing the topic of reigniting your passion for your business. First of all, before we begin, I'd like to go over two housekeeping items. All right, if you can hear me, you know the drill. Go ahead and raise your hand in the webinar controls. Let's see. All right, Mike, John, David, Michael, welcome, welcome. Trevor, Tom, thank you so much. Welcome. I'm so glad you're able to hear me. Secondly, on the format of today's webinar, we will keep all audience audio muted. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the question webinar controls at any time. We're going to pause a couple times throughout the webinar, and I will read the questions out loud, and Jerry will answer the questions. So my name is Julia Linton, and I serve as the operations manager for the SC Launch program. Please welcome me. Please join me in welcoming Jerry Pilewski. Welcome, Jerry. Great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Great, we can hear you. The floor is yours.
All right, I'm going to turn my camera off and we'll get going. So thank you, Julia. Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to have an audience with fellow business owners. Before we get started, I want to emphasize some of my own ground rules. The point of this session is to provide you with some immediately actionable tools. Meeting that goal requires your participation. So to ensure we have the means of talking to one another, we'll start with a look into your soul. So please find the chat room and type in your favorite color. Let's see. Blue, yes, yes. What else do we got? Find that chat room. Any other favorite colors coming in? Or does no one like color?
Hey there, this is Julia. I see a lot of people typing in the question controls instead of the chat box controls, not to be confused. So either one is good, but I'll read the questions out loud. We've got aquamarine. What a great color. Orange, red, blue, green. Okay. I think blue is the winner here. Blue's the winner, right, Jerry.
Well, perfect. Now that we know that works, please interact throughout using that chat box and the question box. We'll pause a couple of times deliberately, as Julia said, for interaction, but feel free to put in questions along the way. And Julia, again, please keep me honest and interrupt as necessary if I miss something that's important. Also, a note on the worksheet you received, and if you didn't receive it, it's attached as a handout also in the controls. When you see a worksheet symbol in the upper left of the slide, like so, it means there's a corresponding question or blank on the worksheet. I encourage you to participate and take notes along the way. You know, many entrepreneurs either escaped or willfully avoided corporate jobs in order to control their own lives. Yet many, if not most of us, occasionally get stuck in a rut. This could be evidenced by working 20-hour days, missing out on dinners with family, skipping little Johnny and Susie's birthdays and recitals, not securing expected market share, difficulty retaining employees, or even just plain general anguish. Without realizing it, your business can become your master instead of the other way around. That said, there are proven, repeatable things you can do to keep yourself in the entrepreneurial headspace. It's about executing passion. And that's the key to working on instead of for your business. Today, I'm going to talk about reigniting passion in your business. I'm a business coach, not a life coach. So while I certainly want owners to be happy, my methods are rooted in observable, objective metrics by mere emotional niceties. First, a note on what business coaches do. We help owners and executives navigate the waters of four basic topics. Time, things like time management, balance, proper goal setting. Team, attracting and retaining the right people, identifying and appropriately utilizing talent, creating positive, meaningful culture. Profit, money is how we keep score in business. Money itself should never be the fundamental reason, but businesses do exist to make a profit. Use your money wisely and make more of it. And strategy. Strategy is how we turn the purpose of passion into an executable vision. It is the core responsibility of an owner. Akin to a sports coach, my job is to push business leaders past what they could achieve on their own and hold them accountable through the process. Your job is to create an amazing product or service. My role is to team up with you to turn that into a thriving business. The methods used provide both immediate impact and lasting results. A little bit of background so you know who's on the other side of the microphone. A passion for service underscores my life, evidenced in early days as an Eagle Scout and later through over 2 decades as a naval officer. As a FocalPoint business and executive coach, that foundation remains strong. While in uniform, I worked across the globe, partnering with leadership from over 45 nations spanning 6 continents. Assignments range from a desk in the Pentagon to Middle Eastern deserts to contested waters in the South China Sea. Throughout the journey, I was fortunate to work with patriots of all ranks and, for the most part, admirals and generals who allowed my passion for innovation and organizational improvement to flourish. With leadership positions ranging from the bridge of a ship to senior advisory roles at the highest levels of command, I matured through operations, innovation, strategic planning, financial management, logistics, and human resources assignments. My final posting in the Navy was as the operations director for an aircraft carrier strike group. That's an organization consisting of about 9,000 personnel spread over 10 ships and 90 some odd aircraft. That experience naturally transitioned into FocalPoint. About FocalPoint, we're an international training and coaching organization. The company is a recognized global leader in the area of peak performance. Our course material and methodologies are founded in the work of world-renowned author, educator, business consultant, and speaker Brian Tracy. We're composed of about 300 certified coaches, highly diverse in experience, but bound by a common set of values. On the line today are a couple more of them, fellow FocalPoint coaches Mike Unger and Rana Kurdi. Mike is in the same neck of the woods as me in the Greenville area. He's a West Point and Clemson graduate who recently retired from 35 years with Michelin. He is a master of turning potential into reality in the manufacturing world. Rana is right up the road outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. She retired from a career as an Army intelligence officer, where she also excelled through several human resources and command positions. She's a multilingual Zen master at executive leadership development. And better than amazing professional backgrounds, Mike and Rana are both amazing people with strong service-based values. In addition to certification as a business coach, I proudly serve as an SCRA resource partner. That's what brought us together today, and hold certifications as an executive leadership coach, navigational conversations facilitator, and hold a negotiation mastery certificate from Harvard Business School. Now, while I enjoy reminiscing about Navy time, let me talk about how that experience is directly applicable and used to help you. As an example, the last project I led in uniform was as the lead sea-based planner for the Rim of the Pacific 2016 exercise, the largest naval exercise in the world. Pictured here are over 40 ships representing 26 nations. Ships range from a small Thai frigate to a massive US aircraft carrier. You can bet they have different missions, concerns, challenges, and capabilities, but they're all operating in the same waters. That's a good metaphor for business. The newest startup can operate in the same market as a well-established blue chip if you intelligently concentrate on your own unique vision and expertise rather than merely dwelling on what the larger, more established players have. Every startup believes they have something worthy. That's what drove us into business. Passion for solving some problem in a new way, coupled with excitement of doing it your way. However, for many owners, the never-ceasing challenges of building and running a business can wear one down, leading into basically a survival trap. Rather than excelling, you can devolve into a state of simply hoping to stay afloat and not run into the aircraft carrier. The way out of that trap is through reconnecting with and organizing your passion. That's what we're going to talk about today. Oh, and just to show you that this is not a BS stock photo, here's the same formation taken from a different angle with a less bearded version of me on the flag bridge. A few quotes to warm up your minds. While the goal today is to provide you with highly practical, immediately actionable tools, I'd like to emphasize that these tools are rooted in things often dubbed as soft science. Business and entertainment leaders can't overemphasize elements of passion. Our goal here today is to capture and translate that passion into meaningful business practices. In other words, Don't relegate passion to an amorphous concept or a motivational poster with eagles or mountaintops hanging in your conference room. A different take on Milton Berle's quote at the bottom is the saying, if God closes a door, he opens a window. Let me invite this possibility. Maybe you were trying to go out the window in the first place. The door would be a lot easier. Let's talk about finding that door. I'll use a business relaunch as the background for our concepts today. No matter where you are in the life cycle of a business, these concepts are applicable, for they form a never-ending cycle. Or more appropriately, when the cycle ends, so then does your business. Some of us built businesses that were strong out of the gate, yet a highly successful launch. Many of us had a slightly different experience, or perhaps an initial successful launch was followed by something like pictured here. By the way, though it caused several moments of angst, no one was hurt by this missile failure. However you came into business, a universal truth is that the universe keeps changing. You may have an incredible outfit, much like the USS Higgins pictured here, but outside forces, competitors, customers, the general market environment can and will shift independent of your best wishes. The New York City skyline looks a little bit different today than it did in '99. By the way, I had to include this picture as I was conning the ship at the time. It's cool when you can have a "my other car is a destroyer" bumper sticker. Enough pure metaphor, let's get to the meat. We're going to talk about a set of 6 cyclical steps you should take to stay energized in your business. Doing these things will keep you in the entrepreneurial headspace. That's where the passion lives. At the risk of oversimplifying, these basic steps are ones that every business must faithfully repeat in order to remain a going concern. And it is absolutely the responsibility of the owner or the CEO to lead those efforts. Your team can and should be involved. But these are things that are the very foundation of what differentiates an entrepreneurial owner from just some other person who designed an interesting product or service. Michael Gerber talks about the entrepreneurial myth, or the flawed assumption that people who are experts at a technical skill will therefore be successful in running a business that does that technical work, aka having a product is often confused for having a business. Fundamentally, businesses stall or fail because they do not complete and repeat this process. 1, you must clarify and articulate your purpose and vision. As Lewis Carroll's Cheshire Cat warns, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. 2, define your business. What is your mission? How will you accomplish your vision? 3, study your competition. Acknowledge their strengths. Learn from their successes and failures. 4, know your customers. Really know them. Get their feedback in ways beyond waiting for them to purchase. 5, identify your areas of excellence. That goes for you personally, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, your business itself, and the members of your team. Expand on what you're really good at. And 6, create a strategic plan. Today, we'll talk about a one-page strategic plan. This serves as the abstract to your broader business plan. It does not take the place of your business plan. And yes, rinse and repeat. If the answers to the steps above remain unchanged year after year, it almost certainly means you're headed for rocky waters. This is the process of reconnecting with and sharing your passion. And for the owners in the audience, most of you, I emphasize the "your" part of this. I have the little worksheet symbol in the upper left here just as a reminder that the steps are listed therein. Now, we only have a few minutes together, so we'll discuss highlights of these steps and run through an interactive exercise using a fictional coffee shop as an example. Or if you want to share personal experience, you may. The content is distilled from Clarity Bootcamp, a 3-month program that has proven successful for several SE launch companies. I'll talk later about how you can learn more about it. One of the success cases, Agulous, I think is on the line with us. I love what Agulous is about. We'll chat with them later if there's time. Some of you may be launching for the first time. Some may have a couple or a few years under your belt. Some may have been hit hard by current economic conditions. For illustrative purposes, we'll use this hypothetical coffee shop relaunch for our scenario. I'm going to ask for your input throughout. So SE Relaunch LLC is a high-end coffee shop in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. Like many businesses, COVID and competitor effects hit them hard. Being proactive, smart entrepreneurs, the owners are asking for your coaching help to relaunch stronger than ever. And if coffee isn't your thing, feel free to use your own business as we work through the cycle. Whatever foams your latte is fine by me. And don't worry about memorizing or copying down the figures here. We'll bring the slide up a couple more times, and it's also listed on your worksheet. Channel your inner Julie Andrews. Let's start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start. Step 1, articulate your purpose and vision. Your business, all businesses, exist for a reason. That reason is what inspires and guides you. Simon Sinek has popularized this concept with Start With Why. Brian Tracy calls it your major definite purpose, echoing a similar concept from the OG of modern success writing, Napoleon Hill. The purpose, or why, of your business should be something just shy of to save the world. I know I talked of a never-ending cycle, but this is the one constant. Your purpose should never change. If it does, start a new business. Your vision clearly describes what your business looks like when achieving that purpose. It constantly updates, describing a theoretical perfect given a 3 to 5 year time horizon. That's close enough to inspire action now, while also allowing for a variety of solutions. It's one thing to say, I want a nice house. It is far more useful and action-causing to state, in 2023, I'll have a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, mountain modern style home on Lake Kiwi with at least 1 acre and a powered boat dock. In other words, a good vision is idealistic, positive, fun, lofty without being insane. I'm looking to live on Lake Kiwi, not Mars in 3 years, and yet general enough to allow for multiple possibilities. I didn't pick the specific plot of land or shingle color yet. Back to your business, the vision statement is your founder or owner perception of the market and how your company will flourish within it while staying aligned to your purpose. Let's look at a couple of real world examples. Here's a purpose. Write in the chat box if you know who this is. Any guesses? And Julia, help me out if it goes in the question box.
Will do. Let's see what's coming in.
Guessing is authorized.
No guesses.
No one knows.
No one.
All
Oh,
right.
Elon Musk, Tesla, Elon Musk.
All right. Well,
There we go.
someone just started a cookie. Tesla. Now, Tesla has quite a variety of products, from a Model 3 to solar home shingles, but they're bound by that common purpose. Their vision carries that purpose one step further. Create the most compelling car company of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electric vehicles. The purpose is broad, sustainable energy for the world. The vision narrows it down a bit by tying sustainable energy to electric vehicles. All right, let's do one more. Who's this? Chat away.
All right. Somebody says Apple, Amazon, Apple, Amazon.
A lot of A companies, the Apples have it. So challenging the status quo is wicked broad. Let's see how their vision adds some direction within that purpose. Design Max, best personal computers, OS X, iWork, etc. Again, purpose is broad. It doesn't change, while the vision talks about what your company looks like in achieving that purpose. These seem simple concepts, and they are, but they are absolutely critical. Knowing your purpose and vision will provide clarity for virtually every business decision that follows. Having a why match with a vision defines the desired destination. Your mission is how you're going to get there. I'm in Greenville. I'm going to Charleston. Am I driving, riding with friends, taking my helicopter? You can think of your mission as your broad categories of operations or lines of effort. For example, maybe you provide a certain type of service or work within a certain specialty. Your mission is the bridge between the broad aims of your vision and the specific elements of what you sell. Your purpose and vision talk about how you'll make the world a better place and what a company you're proud of looks like. Your mission looks at how you're going to directly impact and improve your customers' lives through the use of your product. Mission, therefore, is fundamentally customer-focused while reflecting owner passion. This is where answers lie to the question, how are you going to make money? Note, your mission is rarely your specific product. For example, a company may sell Wi-Fi cameras and cloud-based subscription service. Their mission could be home security, not cameras and subscriptions. Think about your own mission. Is it clearly defined? Does everyone within your company know what it is? Are your metrics reflective of your mission? If your key performance indicators are not directly tied to your mission, then one or the other, or both, need some updating. And I didn't include it here, but a wonderful complement to your mission is your values. This is an area many companies discuss at corporate retreats, but then relegate it to a glossy flyer that gets shoved to a bottom of a drawer somewhere. Be proud of your values, define them, and talk about them often. All right, let's look at some examples. Here's a mission statement that builds some talk of values within it. Any guesses as to who this is? And for those afraid of finding the chat box, we're going to keep doing this. So,
All right, Michael again says Walmart.
Walmart, we had Walmart, Apple. This one is similar but different, Costco.
There you go.
It's not just because a bat of brownie bites for $7 are cheap and delicious. Costco's been successful because they defined and hold themselves accountable to this mission. All right, let's do one more. Who's this?
I think I know.
You're allowed to guess too.
Is it Etsy? With the questions that have come in, say Amazon and eBay.
All right, we've got a variety. This
Amazon.
one is
There you go.
Amazon. Their purpose, by the way, is to be Earth's most customer-centric company. Their mission was originally one of selling books, but it's evolved a few times since. Now that we've talked purpose, vision, and mission, let's apply it to our hypothetical coffee shop. Don't worry about fixing everything just yet. Let's just start at the beginning. So here, I really do want your interaction. So whether it's chatting or if you want to unmute Julia, whatever's easiest. So starting with purpose, put in the chat box or raise your hand to call out what you think would be a good purpose for SC Relaunch LLC. Or if you're so bold, what is the purpose of your business? What is their why?
Okay, so I think we can encourage people to be pretty interactive here. And if you raise your hand in the webinar controls, I will unmute you. And we can, you know, listen to your response. So let me know. Let's see. We have no takers.
No takers.
Would anybody like to be unmuted?
This class is going to get in trouble.
Oh, there we go. We've got a taker. We have a taker. All right, here we go. Michael Unger, please. Let's see. It says that you are self-muted, so you'll have to. I have unmuted you, but you will have to. Yeah, it says that you are unmuted. Or I'm sorry, I have unmuted you, but it says that you are self-muted. So, oh, there we go. Hey, Michael, welcome. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, this is, I'm Mike Unger. So would a good purpose for this coffee shop be something like to be the premier business in downtown Greenville?
That's getting there, Mike. But it's the purpose again is a broader focus than that. So as I said, the ideal purpose is something just shy of save the world. So you're starting to get down to the mission or the vision. So the purpose again is the general feeling of how are you going to make the world a better place within the constructs of the business you're going to have. So here, just because I know it's a little persnickety calling on people.
We have another person that would
go
like
ahead.
to raise their hand. Okay, hold on just a second. Is it Rihanna or let's see, Rahana? Okay,
Yes,
welcome.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Thank you.
So I'll give it a try. How about provide quality coffee for the city to enjoy at fair market price. That's for coffee that's provided from undeveloped countries.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, there's a mixture there of the specifics of the coffee is getting into the mission, but I like that, get the coffee from undeveloped countries. So maybe just taking that example, the purpose could be somehow of, connecting our community to the broader world through coffee, or just pulling that out. So that's a really great point of there's a why behind that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go through a few answers here since this is an example. So what Rana said was a really great point there of, there's some why beyond just the shopping downtown. So an example of a purpose might be just to increase a sense of community within downtown Greenville. Coffee isn't even mentioned here. A vision under that talks about a specific time frame. So for example, in 2023, we're the #1 preferred place in downtown Greenville for a warm atmosphere, enjoy non-alcoholic beverages. And the mission is similar: sell coffee, homemade pastries, downtown welcoming atmosphere, customers feel comfortable. So again, the vision is the company you're proud of. The mission talks more about the customer. So one of the things to think about is, how does COVID-19 affect this purpose, vision, and mission? The purpose hasn't changed. And the vision might, depending on how whatever the new normal is defined, but the mission will probably evolve due to COVID. If you're all about a warm, welcoming place, but you just can't do it because of social distancing or rules, you might have to evaluate that. Before I move forward, are there any general questions regarding purpose, vision, and mission? So any hanging questions there, Julia?
No hidden questions unless they come in just a minute. If you want to raise your hand, I can either unmute you or you can type your question into the webinar controls.
All right, well, we've looked inward at our why and how. Now let's look outward. I apologize for breaking out a textbook, but Professor Larson illustrates a vital point here, so I'll give you a moment to read the lesson. Understand the market. This includes knowing both your competitors and your customers. Sometimes we get so liquored up on our own ideas, we fail to recognize or comprehend that the issue is one of not knowing what's out there. The truth is that many, if not most over time, owners don't ask the right questions to understand the market. The top reason is that they are simply afraid of the answers. Don't raise your hand now, but has that ever applied to you? One cannot validate market need for your product nor differentiation for your services without a little targeted research. We have our purpose and vision, step 1, and our mission, step 2. Now it's time to understand the playing field. A product becomes a commodity when the only differentiator is price. For everyone tuned in here, you're not dealing with commodities, so don't treat yourself like one. Chances are exceptionally high that customers buy from your competitors for reasons other than the financial tally. It can be for great customer service, a long-standing relationship, the ease of the process, or maybe simply because they don't yet know you exist. Who are your competitors today? Who are the best ones? For anyone thinking, I don't have any competitors, my product is so new, think harder. Sometimes your competitor's product may seem dissimilar on the surface. For example, a luxury cruise line is more in competition with bill rentals than it is a 3-day Carnival booze cruise. Sometimes a competitor may exist simply because they are perceived by outsiders as competition. I mentioned Agulous earlier. They are fundamentally changing the agricultural marketplace. On the surface, there are several other players in that space. By truly understanding who those players are and what they do, Agulous was better able to define their own product and highlight vital differentiation. So, one of your competitors may simply be ignorance. People don't know what you're about. Whether another company or a lack of knowledge, one of the keys here is not to dismiss or downplay your competition. Competitor companies, if they exist, are or were good at something. Why do people buy from them? What can you do better? And what makes you unique? And what are things you can do to highlight those differences in a way that matters to customers, investors, and the like? In today's environment, unfortunately, many businesses have ceased to exist. If they were competitors, they're still worthy of study. Let's say they went out of business for cash flow issues during COVID. Well, before that happened, they had customers. Why? And what did people like about them? And what opportunities exist for you to claim those orphaned customers? If competitors are the other players, your customers are the game. Now that you've gone through the steps to demonstrate differentiation, you must ensure that differentiation is something people actually care about. Who are your most valuable customers? The Pareto rule states that 80% of one's business comes from 20% of your customers. Who are they? The answer is often surprising. Who should be your most valuable customers? Perhaps you're wasting resources on low value, high maintenance customers. Why? Let someone else deal with them. How does your product or service improve the life of your customer? And with current events, how has that changed given COVID? What does your customer need to be completely satisfied with your product or service? Ask them. And finally, what changes do you need to make to service your ideal customer? Don't worry about servicing everyone. Just go after the right market, your market. We'll try this again. Let's return to our hypothetical business, or again, extra credit if anyone's so bold to use your own. Who would you say are the competitors for SC Relaunch LLC coffee shop? Open to the crowd.
Okay, I'm going to call on Kevin Nadeau. With True Load Time, he was the first to raise his hand. So Kevin, I have unmuted you. Oh, whoops, sorry. I think there you go. Hey, Kevin, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, Jerry, let's go with Starbucks.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to give a shout out to Kevin, another
Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on just a second. Jerry, I just muted you on accident when I muted Kevin back up. So hold on just a second. Okay. There you go. Sorry. So you were just saying, as soon as I cut you off, you said you want to give a shout out.
to Kevin Nadeau, who True Load Time is another incredible born in South Carolina company who will be making all of your lives better in ways that you don't even realize, because he's impacting the logistics and trucking industry right now. So I just want to say that he's an example of a great entrepreneur. Anyway, he said Starbucks. Who else is out there?
All right, Mike Unger again says Panera, Atlanta Bread for competitors.
Yeah, a bunch of these things.
We also had some other people say Starbucks as well, Dunkin' Donuts.
Sure, so basically anywhere that gets us morning things. So one of the questions there is, there's a billion different coffee shops out there. Greenville has done a pretty good job of actually having quite a few smaller or local ones. So what are the things they do really well? And that this is a case where you don't just say, oh, they're bigger than us, they can sell for cheaper. What can you truly do different? What about customer needs? So let's shift it from the competitor to the customers. For our high-end coffee shop, how have their needs changed during COVID?
Yeah, so we've got people typing in here. We've got exactly what I was thinking, drive-through. They need to obtain their coffee safely, greater space requirements, to-go services.
Yeah, absolutely. So heck, just like mom and pop restaurants, mom and pop coffee shops need to adjust to the current environment, ignoring that at your own peril. Let me pause for a moment. And again, feel free to share your own business, but I encourage you to think of it, at least in the back of your heads. How can you treat your customers differently, whether it's COVID-based or just the general market environment? Don't assume that you can keep treating your customers the same way, because it's not just a COVID thing. I don't really like the term new normal, because there is no constant state. The world keeps changing. I'll pause for a second here for general open up to Q&A in case there is any.
All right, there is no Q&A in there now. I'm happy to take the questions in the question panel. Or if you'd like to raise your hand, I'm happy to unmute you as well. We'll just take a second and wait for the questions to roll in or the hands to be raised.
Mhm.
Everyone has turned shy all of a sudden.
I'm surprised
Here
because
we go. Here we go. We've got a question on the table. How do you assess the needs of your customers since they have changed?
the good coach in me would turn that question right back on you, but I guess the question is, how have they changed? You know, how have the needs of the customers changed, and how would you find that out? So whoever put that in the box, I'll be coachy and turn that question back on you to say, how do you know how their needs have changed?
I'm just waiting for that either answer to come in or there we go. All right, let's see. You know that they have changed because they are not visiting you as much as they used to.
So again, part of that is they're not visiting. You can just be worried like, oh shoot, we don't have what we used to. You know, maybe they're afraid to go out. Maybe they don't know you exist. Maybe they don't know that you have a nice warm environment. So for example, even in current constraints, looking at a Methodical Coffee in downtown Greenville, they still have some seating areas, maybe not as much. So the issue here is not just to hide behind, well, crap, it's obviously changed, but go out, take surveys, ask customers, people who either bought from you or hang out in other coffee shops, proactively go out there and ask the questions of people, why don't you want to go out? And then you can adjust from there. Now, for those who say, well, I'm just not going out, period, well, then maybe the answer will be something like a to-go or delivery service. Or maybe they just don't know that you're open. The point here is do the homework. Don't just hide behind or feel overwhelmed by the fact that customers turned off. Good question. All right, we'll move forward. Key number 5, what are your areas of excellence? Leveraging your analysis of your customers and competitors, you must also identify your areas of excellence. Here, I'm talking about you specifically, your business on the whole, and your staff. Not what are you pretty good at, but what are the areas where you are specifically truly exceptional? And if there's areas in which you're passionate but not yet exceptional, what do you need to do to up your game? Knowing and concentrating on your areas of excellence helps you spend more time on what energizes both yourself and others. Remember, passion. For our coffee shop, business areas of excellence might be quality beverages and food, safe, warm in-house environment, and they need to look at that. Quick and easy, accessible to-go service. This is also an exercise in what shouldn't you be trying to do. What are the things that drain you of energy or that you're not good at? This will inform what should be outsourced. For example, let's say you hate doing the books. An accountant may cost money, but that expenditure could be well worth it if it frees up your time to concentrate on what makes your business special, and also to ensure the books are done correctly. On the business side, using our coffee shop as an example, they should not compete with the new crepe restaurant one block over by starting to serve crepes, nor should they compete with the bar down the street by serving craft beer. It's just not their business. Lastly, key number 6, one-page strategic plan. At a glance, you can tell who you are, what you're about, and know with clarity the things that you're working on. This is a document that translates your passion into a shareable plan backed by actions and metrics. Start with purpose, which doesn't change, and vision, something that has a 3 to 5 year time horizon, down to actions we need to take now. We go from the general to the specific. This is something you can capture on a page or two. Its purpose is to serve as a dashboard, reminding of you, your staff, your investors, even your customers, what you're about and how you're moving forward. In short, it is a translation of your passion into an executable business activity. I'll show an example. This is modified from Jim Horan's The One-Page Business Plan. I know the font's small. This is a hypothetical where the bullets are not as important as their organization. I don't want to belabor the specific content here, but I'll send these slides out for those interested in taking a closer look at the example. The finished product provides a clear snapshot. It serves as a great abstract to your broader business plan. Now, given our digital age, there are a host of strategic planning and management programs out there. I'd be happy to share an example with you outside of this session. This is a great way to tell everyone involved in your company, from junior employee to senior investors and customers, what you're about. Again, it is the manifestation of your passion in a way that leads to objective profit for a purpose. So activating your entrepreneurial mindset is the way to stay connected with and share your passion. So very quickly, we went on 6 keys to work on instead of for your business. Articulate your purpose and vision. Why do you exist? What's your company look like in 3 to 5 years? How are you going to make the world a better place? Your mission, define your business. What business are you in? What should you be in? How will you accomplish this? How will you make the lives of your customers better? Study your competition. Respect them. How do you maximize your competitive advantage? What is your unique selling proposition? Know your customers. Who is your ideal customer? How do you find more of them? How do you keep them? Identify your areas of excellence. Identify your core competency. Personally, as a business, your team, how can you use those? And finally, develop a strategic plan. What strategies and tactics will maximize your results? How do you communicate a dashboard of your business plan? We've gone over some simple to identify, yet as solid Krawcheck says, often hard to execute steps to engage our entrepreneurial minds. This is how we thrive regardless of overall economy. It is always a good time to be in business. And finally, an interesting quote from J.C. Penney. The company bearing his name is straight from the founder's advice. How's that worked out? Today, we covered 6 keys to work on instead of for your business. Again, they apply to all businesses regardless of maturity, and they're the key towards maintaining an entrepreneurial mindset. And it is in that mindset where your passion stays alive and can be shared through profitable business. I promised before I'd let you know how to learn more about how to master, apply, and profit from these concepts. Today's source material is rooted in Clarity Bootcamp. That's a program that was developed specifically for SCRA by tailoring FocalPoint material. Whether you're launching, relaunching, or simply stuck, this course provides an exceptional way to help get you back into your entrepreneurial headspace and put that into meaningful practice. You'll be focused, and so therefore will your company, leading to measurable growth. Clarity Bootcamp is a 90-day one-on-one course, especially ideal for those who have just earned grant or investment. It's positively impacts several local companies, a couple in attendance today. Recent motivating examples include logistics, like Kevin, agriculture, Agulous, veteran employee placement, and artificial intelligence companies. These are foundational lessons. Industry doesn't matter. We can stay on the line for a few minutes afterwards if you want to learn more, or you can write or call me. Finally, I'd like for you to take one more opportunity to capture some thoughts on your worksheet. I encourage you to commit to at least one action you'll take this week based on what we just talked about to help you refocus your business. Please take a few seconds to write down that action. I'll also send a feedback form after today's session. Just as my job is to hold owners accountable, I ask the same of you. I'd appreciate your help in improving this session or to learn what topics would be of value to you for future lunch and learns. I'll also ask you to share the action to which you just committed. The coach in me wants to check up on you. Before I finish, is anyone willing to share what action they're going to take based on what we just covered? Raise your hand or type it in. Who's so bold?
All right, while we wait for people to type that in, we have a question that just came in and they said, Jerry, how often should a business go through these 6 steps? Is it annually?
Yes. Well, not yes annually, but the question is annually, is it monthly, is it weekly? So a note on that is it depends on your business and where you are and your cycle of growth. I would say annually on the outside, but it depends on where you are in the life cycle of a business. If you're going to have major growth in 6 months, Kevin's a great example. It is massive growth happening quickly, so it's worth revisiting the cycle. You will often hear SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, threats. That's kind of a one afternoon way to go through this cycle. The point of this and the dashboard is that once you build your strategic plan and then your broader business plan, those are living documents. they constantly get updated. So you don't necessarily need to go in order every time, but you're always thinking about how that cycle iterates. So I would never say a specific, well, it must be at 97 days you should go through the cycle. But doing it in earnest does take at least probably 90-ish days. That said, it really depends on where you are in your business, where you're going, what your goals are, what the market is to do that. Good question.
Okay, so getting back to your first original question, somebody says they are going to immediately work on their one-page strategic plan.
Excellent.
Somebody else says they are going to work on how important. Let's see. Oh, nope, we have a question.
All right.
They just keep coming. It's great. It's great.
Sure.
Okay.
Perfect.
Let's see. So the question is, how important do you believe founders or owners or personalities and predictions are to establishing the vision, mission, and strategy of the organization? I feel like I read that incorrect. So
if I get that right,
okay,
it's a question of how much does a personality play into the company? And if that is a question, a zillion %. So there's a couple of pieces beyond this. One, especially as original founder owners, the company is absolutely a reflection of who you are. Now, there are many different routes to this question. One is purely from a communications and style placement. So, for example, if someone is very much an influencer, they like the energy of other people, but they're not very organized, then they need to get some other personalities to match that up. So the critical thing here is that you have a common set of values, but it's great to have diversity of how people approach those values. So the quiet guy in the corner who loves data is the great person to do the books. The super influencer type person might be their ideal salesperson. So personality is absolutely critical because every company is a reflection of their owner, and couldn't be even. I can't overemphasize how much that's true for an original founder startup. So let your personality show through, but also in terms of communications, assessment, building team, there are practical ways to ensure that you have all the different types of personalities, so that you don't want 20 of the same people in your company, because you're certainly going to miss something. So let me know if that answers your question or if there's a follow-up.
yes, that does answer his question. Thank you. Another question or another comment has come in saying this person is going to work on identifying documents and distributing KPIs, both current and in the future state.
Yep, and that's something we spend a lot of time on. You can ask those like Kevin in the audience. Critically important to get the right metrics and not just pull them from some other business. So if you pull your KPIs from a textbook without applying it and tailoring it to your business, they're not going to work.
Great. Another important question has come in. If a company has not done its own purpose, vision, and mission statements, can it go ahead and assess its competition and customers?
Not well. So a lot of folks look at the purpose, vision, mission as soft science that we'll get to it. Let's get our product first. But that's a great question, because if you haven't done that stuff first, not really, because you can't measure that in a way that matters. So I said earlier on, once you have your vision, purpose, mission, it makes every decision so much easier. That's absolutely true, because should I hire this person? Well, do they have values which are congruent with my company? I don't care what their resume is if they don't believe in what we're about. How do I attract customers? Well, if people are excited about what my purpose in life is, that's going to draw in customers. It's going to draw in the right people. Should I go down, make this new product or service? Well, does it have anything to do with my mission? So I mentioned an artificial intelligence company. That company happens to be doing it to save lives. Well, they can use AI for a million things. They shouldn't develop a product to use AI to drive cars, for example. That's just not their mission. So great question. I cannot overemphasize how important having that stuff done first is. So yes, it's a cycle, but you got to start with your purpose, vision, mission. because that helps define every single other question in your business. So great questions. Thanks for bringing it up. I can't emphasize the vision enough.
All right, so the questions, there are no other. Oh, here we go. We've got another one that came in. Let's see. People often know what they are doing with their company, but rarely they know why. Does this seem so commonplace?
Yes, it's extraordinarily common. So those companies that truly stay connected with their why are unfortunately the minority, but those types of issues are what leads directly to things like poor employee engagement, high turnover. When people don't know why, they'll come in and just, most people want to do the right thing, but they'll do the bare minimum. They won't be excited about it. And that goes all the way up to the very top level of the company. If the owner itself is just putting in time, you can bet that the frontline workers aren't excited about the company. So it is very true that companies either never clearly define or lose track of their why. I would say, roughly 97% of the time, plus or minus 3%, if you did the forensics on why that company eventually fails, somewhere in there will be because they lost or didn't have a why.
All right, we do not have any other questions that have come in except for will the slides be distributed to
Yep.
all of the attendees? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. And this session is recorded, so it will be live and available. I'm sorry, not live, the recording will be available on the SC Launch website, and I will send you a link to that as well. We've got just some comments that have come in saying, thank you to Jerry, excellent perspectives, thank you very much. But excellent, people are just, they're filling in now. They're just, everyone's loving what came through. Great content, highly recommended the course that Jerry mentioned. I've been through it and created my own nautical chart. This has been very helpful, thank you. So Jerry, I don't want to end your presentation early. Do you have anything else here?
No, as I said, feel free to reach out to me to learn more. I love what SCRA is about, so thank you to Julia and all of SCRA. I salute all of the entrepreneurs in the audience because it can be a scary journey, but the way to get out of that fear, there are absolutely proven, repeatable things we can do to do that, and that's why I exist, to help you do your passionate thing, be a successful business. So thank you for what you're doing within the state. But I have no other prepared comments, and as I said, I'll send the slides, and I ask it should only take literally a minute or two to do a feedback form. I'd really appreciate everyone doing that. That gets it in the email.
Great, thank you so much, Jerry. Some more comments that have come in. Go Army, beat Navy. I just had to say it, sorry.
Someone clearly is having difficulty with enough oxygen reaching their brain.
Somebody else just says, Jerry's Clarity program was amazing. We took it, it truly helped shape us as founders and our company as well. I just want to thank everybody on the line. Our next SC Launch and Learn is titled, If They Build It, Will They Come? This is a design thinking webinar. It's also going to be pretty interactive, just like this one was. And please, follow our website and follow SCRA for more information on how to register for these. I'll also send the link out. That is September 22nd. If they build it, will they come? I love that. Jerry, big thank you. I really appreciate all of your time and your energy. This has been a great webinar. I want to thank everybody on the line and have a great rest of your day. So thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you all.
Bye.